For thousands and thousands of years, our ancestors have used herbs, bush, plants to heal themselves of all kinds of diseases and to prevent these diseases also. Now, that was a norm, and it worked. Okay? The story goes that England was at war with another country, a couple thousand years ago. These countries were constantly at war with each other, as they are now, but they were trying to capture other lands so that they could become a large empire, and England was one of them, always at war, and at war at sea. And their soldiers started getting sick. And at that time, there was nobody knew anything about vitamins or anything like that. But they had their captain came to realize that it was because these men were not eating nutritious food. They were eating dried meats and dried foods, but particularly meat products that they would dry and take with them onto the ship. Okay? But his men were dying. In a nutshell, they finally figured out that what these men had was a disease called scurvy. Okay? Now, the many researches they've had since then, we've come now to realize that the disease called scurvy is as a result of vitamin C deficiency. And these men were out there on the waters for months on end, perhaps even years on end. They were dying a lot. And when your soldiers are dying, you're in trouble. Dying or sick or weak from scurvy. And scurvy, we eventually discovered with research, scientific research, comes as a result of vitamin C deficiency. Plant. You see, if these men were eating vegetables or fruits, vitamin C is in every plant. Okay? So the point I'm making, they introduce lime and lemon to their soldiers. And guess what? They stopped dying by the drove. They stopped getting sick. They weren't getting scurvy anymore because their vitamin C deficiency was being taken care of by the introduction of lime and lemon in these soldiers' diet. So the thing is that plants have always been quite effective in curing or preventing diseases for centuries. But now we have these drugs, prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, which many over-the-counter drugs were once prescription drugs, that the pharmaceutical companies push with tons and tons of advertisement that make us feel that if we have allergy issues, that we should take steroids, which have so many negative side effects, as opposed to, say, using some ginger and turmeric and cayenne and garlic and onion and the herbal teas like moringa and the cerasee and sage and all those healthy herbs, okay, that boost our own immune system and help us to fight whatever disease and disorders might be attacking our bodies. Okay? Now, I have a good friend who is plagued with severe allergy issues every season. If it's spring, it's any different symptoms. Fall, winter, summer, okay? Plagued with this allergy and sinus, congestion, coughing a lot, sneezing a lot, scratchy throat, watery eyes, don't feel good, dizzy, lightheaded. And I'm well aware of all those symptoms because I was like that until I discovered that proper nutrition was my way out. And I remember 2 years ago when I came to Georgia, and I used to have a whole lot of allergy problems. I lived in South Florida for 30 years or so and came to Georgia, and I was exposed to a different environment, different trees, different flowers, different pollen, sap, and all these things that we tend to become allergic to. And I suffered. I was coughing, I was sneezing, I was lightheaded, dizzy, feel sick every single day. Okay? And since I am a research queen and I do know that the herbs work, I wanted to find out what could I do, what could I take, what lifestyles change could I incorporate to heal myself of this severe allergic issue that I was going through. One of my friends told me she soaks onion and garlic in apple cider vinegar or in vodka, and she drinks it like as a cough medicine, and that helped me a lot. And that was when I really got into making tinctures. Like I make turmeric and ginger tincture by grating like a pound of turmeric root, grating a pound of ginger root, put them in a glass container and pour vodka on it, and I would let it sit in a dark place for 2 to 4, the longer the better, but at least 2 to 4 weeks, and I would take a tablespoon or more every single day. I also used raw garlic. I would chop it up, mix it with a little honey, and swallow it with a little water, and incorporate, of course, more garlic in my diet, onion in my diet. Of course, I'm not a milk drinker, but I was more cautious about not having ice cream or anything like that that had milk. Definitely not having any animal products. And those were the things that helped me to get rid of this miserable allergic response that I was having when I first came to Georgia. And thank God, it's been 2 years plus since I have been here, and since then, I have not had any allergy issues of significance, and I feel good. So today I was telling my friend that, that's what I did, and that's what helped me. I have not had to use any steroids, any antihistamine, none of that stuff. Antibiotic, which she told me she has been on antibiotic, she's been on steroids. Do you know how many negative side effects these things have? These antihistamines. I have a friend who died, okay, because he had a cold. He had a history of high blood pressure, and he had a bad cold, and he took cough drugs, over-the-counter cough drugs and antihistamine, and it shot his blood pressure through the roof, and he ended up with a brain bleed and died. So I'm telling you, people, drugs have a lot of negative side effects. And it's not that the herbal remedies that our foreparents used, is not that it never worked. Okay? But the people who make the drugs want you to feel like they don't work. They don't want you to know that Ginger and turmeric will help to boost your immune system so your body can fight whatever it's trying to attack it. They don't want you to know these things. So, I am my best doctor. I have to educate myself. I have to study. I have to research. And there's a lot of information in books and online now to help us to make the right decisions so that we can be our healthiest self. Because if I can stay healthy, I'm going to save money and I won't need to go to drugstores to go buy antihistamines and cough medicine. The antihistamine industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry with people taking these so-called allergy medicine every single year because their lives are miserable without it. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. It is not that herbs and natural remedies and plants did not work. It's just that there's no money to be made, like I said, if people know that they can make their own tincture with a little bit of vodka with turmeric and with ginger. If people know that they can use garlic, if people know that they can use onion, if people know that they can use cayenne pepper, okay, to heal themselves, then why would you spend money on antibiotic and all these other drugs? Okay, so do your research and study and find out what you can use to help yourself, and so you're not exposed to all these negative side effects of these drugs. Steroids, do yourself a favor and look up the many side effects of steroids. The steroids can affect your kidneys in a very negative way. Steroids can affect your heart in a very negative way. Steroids can lead to diabetes, weight gain, to name just a few. Okay, because I know that in the healthcare industry, the government has mandated that the healthcare workers like myself, being a nurse, before we offer any patient one pill, we have to educate them about the side effects of these drugs. Now, why would they mandate such a thing if it was not important for you and I to know what the negative side effects of these drugs are so that we can make our own educational decision? So that's what I'm informing you and advising you and suggesting that you do. Make your own educational decision before taking pills or taking anything for that matter. Don't take my word for it. Research and find out for yourself about these herbs. Okay? These plants. And you'll learn, you'll see, and you'll be an educated consumer. Take care and God bless and be well.